Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillah, nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa natubu ilayhi wa na'udhu billahi min shariri anfusina wa sayyiati a'malina. Wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. I seek refuge in Allah from the rejected enemy Shaitan. With Allah's name, the most merciful benefactor, the most merciful redeemer. All praise is due to Allah alone. We praise Him and we seek help from Him. We ask forgiveness of Him and we repent to Him. And we seek refuge in Him from our weaknesses. And I bear witness there is no deity except Allah alone. He has no partners. He's independent. And I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is His servant and messenger to mankind. Today, my beloved Muslims, we are going to look into the Quran and the story dealing with Jacob. And there's a story coming from other religious texts talking about Jacob as he wrestled with the angels. It's so important that when we study, and it's real important that we do study, everyone should be studying Quran more than anything else. And other concepts and ideas that tend to surface at some of the most unusual times. You can be researching something and then suddenly a name will pop up. And you say, well, what is this name? What is it reference? And then you have to try to find how that relates to the rest of what you're trying to understand. Understanding is so crucial today. Brothers and sisters, there is no way that Allah has presented this way of life to us that only men get it, not women. Only fathers get it, not sons. Only mothers get it, not daughters. No, it's for everybody. The Ummah is complete with everyone. So it's very important to understand the meaning of some of these concepts and ideas that are in Scripture. Remember that everyone you talk with, especially an adult, has some concept or some idea of what they think. And when they respond to you in a conversation, they're responding to you on the basis of what they think. And you don't have a reference as to where they're coming from in terms of what they think, then it's very difficult to try to convey idea or concept to them. And the same problem exists with you. If you are not certain about what you think, then how convincing can you be to someone else who's trying to figure out what they think? Now they're listening to you, talk with them about what you think. You say to the average Muslim, Malaika. And the average Muslim who speaks a little Arabian believes you're talking about the angels and his perception. Where does that perception come from? Where is that perception lying? When Allah uses Malaika in Quran, He uses it in a way to deliver an idea or concept to us. When he references the hadiths that he has in the Quran, all the hadiths in the Quran, allow them to be there. So that means that you should try to have some understanding of them. So this idea about Jacob wrestling with the angel, and our understanding of what Malik is, what concept comes to your mind after you have studied Quran, after you have gotten some idea about what this Quran is saying and what it means to you, and how you can best use it in your life? That's the key. That is the key. All information you receive, from whatever source you receive it, has to be applicable to your life. How can you best use it in your life? Not just use it, but best use it in your life. And in order for you to be able to do that, you have to have some understanding about what? You have to have some understanding about yourself. You have to understand some understanding about who you are, not in terms of personality, but in terms of who you are, in terms of what Allah has created you to be. You have to have some perception of that. What is man? What is man created for? What are the challenges that's presented to man in this creation to make man reach his heights? To make man soar to his potential? And what is man's potential? When you begin to ponder some of these kinds of ideas and thinking, then you'll begin to measure yourself. Because now you measure yourself according to the man that Allah has created. It's not the one man. And Allah created that man. So when you measure who you are and what you're doing, you're measuring against that man that Allah has created. Not a lesser being, not some other kind of figment out there in space or whatever, but you're measuring against the man that Allah created and called him Khalifa. Khalifa, meaning the controller of his destiny, meaning the shaper, the architect of the physical creation that is presented to him. Meaning that he will learn ways on how to manipulate in his physical creation to the best of his help and find out in this creation what is best for him. This is what we measure ourselves against when we really understand the Quran. When we understand what Allah has created. And we're not measuring ourselves against one another. That's in this world. When they talk about running races and things of that nature, this race is superior over that race, this culture is superior over that culture, this is divine, that's not divine. All that is made up. Made up. It's made up by civilizations that came before us. And they made it up so that they will appear to be in the Creator's favor. So they would appear to be the measuring stick by which all other civilizations are measured. Some say they are the chosen people. Some squabble over who's from Ibrahim, who's from Isaac, and who's from Ishmael. They argue about those trivial things. Then they argue about the prophets. Then they argue about the messages from Allah. Trivial things. And the reason I say they're trivial, because that is not going to be the predetermination of how you measure up. Because Allah has made it so simple that most of us miss it. He said that He's going to measure you by you. You're going to measure up by you. Nobody else. You're not going to measure up by the prophet. You're not going to measure up by a messenger. You're not going to measure up by something else. No, you're going to be measured up by you. And Allah made that possible in every culture. in every generation, and regardless of what language they speak, what they call themselves worshiping. There is no barrier that Allah cannot penetrate to his human being that he has created. The human being cannot hide in a cave from Allah. The human being can't hide in ignorance from Allah. Allah will shine a light on man's ignorance and cause man to stimulate in his mind ideas and concepts he never even thought of before. You cannot hide from Allah. So it's best to find out how we measure up to Allah's man that he has created. The whole idea about Jacob wrestling with an angel, with a malaika, should put your mind into motion. Should put your mind into motion. What is this talking about? And then, as you know in that story, at the end, his name is changed. Jacob's name. And his name is changed to one who sees, one who has understanding of himself. His name is changed to enlightenment. Some call it Israel, some call it by other names. But what it means is enlightenment. What it means, before you got in that particular situation, there was some confusion. But because you have persevered, the confusion disappeared. And by the confusion disappearing, your mind was able to operate at its maximum. Your mind was able to operate and begin to rationalize things, begin to see things that was presented to you before that you couldn't understand. But now with this clear sight, clear vision, you can see and understand them. And of course, as you know, the word malaika represents Allah's instruction, represents Allah's executing his command. And Allah says, kun. Following kun, there has to be some form to make kun fayakun. It can't be if there's no operation between kun and fayakun, there is no movement. That movement between kun is the malaika. That movement between kun and the malaika and the creation is the malaika. The malaika forces all of creation into Allah's command. No matter what the creation want to do, it's forced into Allah's command. So it comes into existence through that process called malaika. And the same process exists in your mind. When you are stumbled with some way out idea, you're trying to get something over, you can't see because it's so confusing to you. You have to wrestle with your mind. You have to wrestle with those thoughts and things that Allah has put in you. And if you wrestle hard enough and follow Allah's word, your mind will see it. And you will triumph. So it's very important for us to understand perceptions and ideas that are given to us by people in order for us to understand Quran and how it can best serve us. Don't think for 1 minute that the Quran is not designed to serve you. You don't have to get into those arguments about it's for everybody. If it's not for one person, it's for nobody. You mean to tell me there's somebody that Allah cannot serve? There's something in this creation that the creator of it cannot serve? And if he cannot serve that one small, minute, whatever it is, he can't serve everything. It's contradictory. So that tells you that Allah has this Quran to serve you as an individual. So you can be the best human being you possibly can be in your lifetime. You don't have to stretch your mind out in space and way back in history. All you have to be is true and honest to yourself. And ask Allah's guidance to make you the best He has intended for you. He has intended something for you. You have to search it, like Jacob was searching. You have to search it. Because in the search is development. It's the same as an athlete. An athlete wants to be the best athlete he can be. And if he goes home and sits down every day and just dream about becoming this great football player or basketball player or whatever it is, when it comes time for him to perform with the others who've been out there practicing, the others who've been out there exercising, the others who've been out there lifting weights, the others who've been out there doing those things to build up their potential, 9 times out of 10 he will fail. Why? Because he has neglected himself. He's neglected himself. It's not that the others did something for themselves that made him fail. He failed because he neglected himself. He might have been the best in the bunch had he taken notice of what Allah had put in him. The creation is for you. The creation is for you. And the hereafter is for you exclusively. This is what Allah says in the Quran. We must look, examine, and put together these principles to improve our life. And once we can be able to improve our own individual life, which in itself is a sign, which in itself is a commitment that Allah makes to you. If you want to improve your life, ask your Lord. He says that, and He will help you improve your life. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean that you're trying to get more money? No, it doesn't mean that. It means there's some things in your life that you're not quite satisfied with. There's some things in your life that you may feel as though you're not working up to your full potential. You can reach it. And if you have gotten to the point where you say, I have this, and I have that, and I have something left over. The moment you have something left over, then now you know you're in the mode of helping others. Now you know you're in the mode of reaching out to those who don't have what you have. You're in the mode automatically. You didn't have to even ask for it. You're in it automatically. Because Allah says of that, He says, give of that which I have given you. He's not even asking you to give of that which you need. He said, give of that which He has made plenty for you. So He has sadaqah, zakat. Do you think Allah made a mistake to think that we wasn't going to have anything out of this creation? Do you think Allah made a mistake to think man was not going to go into the earth and put out diamonds, oil, and gold, and all of those things to make himself rich? Do you think Allah had no concept of us going and getting a job and making a great life for ourselves or doing something for ourselves? You think Allah has no concept of that? You have to come to the conclusion that Allah definitely has a concept of that. So when He says give, it's because of what He knows, not for what He's asking. It's because of what He knows. He doesn't have to even ask you to give. He is saying that give of what I have given you. See, if He hadn't given us anything, or given us the ability to do anything, then you might have to ask us, can you help? No, I can't. I did all I can do. No, but he knows. He knows he has made it possible for us to be able to propagate Al-Islam. He knows he's made it possible for those who say they understood the scripture before this to propagate that scripture. He knows he's given man wealth in this earth to build a society and culture. He knows that. So he is saying, give of what I have given you. Not even one thought is given in some cases. To how important that is. Now, we see the other end many times. We see the other end where it says, if you give of your time and your efforts to help others, Allah is going to bless you. Going to bless you. So you're actually looking at a blessing to come in that sense. But it's even bigger than that. That's only a small portion. But that's like a guaranteed portion. Those of you who are in investments, in like bonds and mutual funds and things of that nature, you know there's a big difference between high risk and medium range risk. And then there's a lower yield with the guaranteed securities. There's some securities you're guaranteed to get your money back and a certain interest on that money. Different than riba. We'll go into that another time. But the point is, this is a different kind of guarantee. Allah says that if you give, talking to man, collectively and individually, if you give of what I have given you, meaning your intelligence, your time, your money, your efforts, your goodness, all of that, if you give of that, the world that you will build because of giving will be a greater world than you see now. Much greater than you see now. You will be able to make another world. And many of you, depending upon your age, will be able to see it in your lifetime. And those of you who are sincere will be able to see it same as Musa saw. Musa never went into the promised land. But the vision was so strong in Musa. The concept was so strong in Musa, he saw it in his soul, he saw it in his blood, he saw it in his being, he saw it in his existence. So all of his efforts were going toward to achieve that goal, to get his people into the promised land. And I remember a speech given by Martin Luther King. And in it, he said, I've been to the mountaintop. And when you listen to the talk, you hear him talking about, at that time, spiritually speaking, he's speaking spiritually, in his vision, in his mind, that he's been able to see the results of this effort that he's been a part of, to see that one day the world's going to be what they've been envisioning to try to make the world be. He saw it in his own vision. Do you know that's the power part of the human being, part of the human being, is vision, imagining, using your imagination to visualize something that does not exist in the world yet. But because of your imagination and your will and your determination and your commitment to your own thinking, you can bring it into existence. These are just some of the things that we should consider when we are talking about and thinking about, studying, looking at some of the symbols and ideas and concepts. And we can't always go over everything. We can't always have classes here on Wednesday. You should try to make the class on Wednesday night. We're going to start another class on the weekend by which we can start really dealing in some of the depth and understanding of the Quran and concepts. So with that, we want to take a short pause. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. The most beautiful thing is coming in to understand it. The most beautiful thing is coming in to understand it. Even if it's just over a math problem or something you might have in one of your classes or figuring out a little situation. Once you see the answer, a beautiful feeling comes over you. A beautiful, you're elated because of that spiritual connection that you have just made between your spirituality and the reality that you're confronting in the real world. And when you make that connection of knowing, then you're satisfied. Your soul is satisfied. So knowing has its ability to make you feel and understand the essence of your human nature. The essence of your human nature. And that's the nature we all have because Allah only created one man. Allah only created one man. He only created one race. The human race. He didn't create a race after race after race. Oh, that's not good, this is bad. No, one. The human being. One creation, and from that creation, Allah says everything else He made. The Chinese, the Japanese, the Hungarian, the Polish, the Jewish, the Semite. He allowed all of them to come into existence. From one. Wahid Nassim. From one. And when we are able to connect to that one and understand that we are part of that one, we're part of that one essence, then that enlightenment of our soul, that enlightenment of our spirit makes that connection. You're not just connecting to your brother that you see down the street, that, assalamu alaikum. No, not just that. But you are connecting to, in that soul, you're connecting to all human life. And in connecting to all human life, you're connecting to every element that the universe is created from because it all comes from one creator. So you're connecting universally when you begin to understand the essence of yourself. This is what Allah teaches us in the Quran. And if we use the principles that Allah gives us in this Quran, we'll be able to reach those heights. Our lives become more filled with satisfaction of our existence. Our lives become filled with the satisfaction of helping others to reach their goals and objectives. Our lives become more abundant. We are living for our lives to be more abundant. Allah says He's given us that abundance. And this is so wonderful. This is so much of the kind of thing that we search for all of our lives. It's almost like a person who is hungry and he eats food, nourished, and then a little while later he's hungry again. This is beyond that. This is not satisfying the appetite. This is beyond. This is satisfying, and the way Allah says in the Quran, Allah says that He's pleased with His servant, and His servants are pleased with Him. See, that's an eternal thought. That's not a thought that just comes and then you're hungry and then you're looking for another God. No, that's not that kind of feeling. I'm finished. This God, I want another God now. It's not that kind of feeling. When you begin to reach out and find those things in yourself that were created in you, you begin to make this universal connection with the creator of this universe. And He's one. with everything. He's one. There's nothing outside of his creation that exists on his own. Everything exists because of Allah. Regardless of how stupendous they may sound. Regardless on the essays and the books and whatever they write, they are nothing. There's nothing that's independent of Allah. It is Allah on whom we are all dependent. And Allah has blessed us to be able to see a life example of one of us, to show that kind of dependence, to show that kind of loyalty to Allah's word, to show that kind of commitment to Allah's creation that Allah had created him. And that one was Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we thank Almighty Allah for blessing us to be here this day of Jumu'ah. And we are able to see each other, knowing that yesterday some of us passed, and some of us might pass tomorrow. But if Allah bless us to see each other, we should always greet each other. As-salamu alaykum, because that's a blessing. To be able to see each other and greet each other in peace. So, Rabbana Tina Fidunya. Our Lord, give us the best of this world and of the hereafter, and protect us from the fire.